So I finished the headphone modification that I had planned. Some of you will have seen me in my earlier video where I was showing you these Marshall Major 3 headphones and some cheaper Sony ones as well. And I said I was going to modify these Marshalls to fit on the Elite strap. Well, as you can see, this is exactly what I've done. One on either side, really neatly, at least I think it's really neatly. And obviously they sound amazing, especially compared to the standard audio, but they're really nice little headphones anyway for the price, to be honest. I think I paid about £50, full retail, maybe 65, 70, I can't quite remember now. There will be some links in the description for them. And obviously a lot of you were curious about how I'm gonna fit these, because the thing is, I want them to look neat and tidy, almost factory. I don't like ugly modifications. So like people using the Deluxe audio strap, you know, it's black, it doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. And then you can get, you know, 3D printed adapters to use other ones, and to me, it's just not neat and tidy enough, you know. And whilst it doesn't really matter, because as long as they work, that's the main thing, as long as they sound nice, it doesn't really matter. But I wanted something that looked as neat and tidy and almost as factory as I could. And I had this idea, and so this is what I've done. Now, it's not for the faint-hearted, okay? So if you're a warranty slut, you're not gonna like this, because you're avoiding both the warranty on the headphones and on the Elite strap, because we are doing some butchery here, and they cannot be put back to standard after we've gone ahead and done what I've had to do here. You can probably already see that, because you can see there's a nut there, which means we've got a bolt going through the Elite strap. And yes, some people in the comments are going to panic, going, oh, have you made the strap weak? Is it going to break? What about the horror stories of that batch of early ones that broke? Yeah, you're absolutely right. There was some that broke, and yes, potentially I've made it weaker and maybe it's going to break, but I've given it some stick. I've bent it around a lot. I've wore it for the last week. I haven't had any problems at all. You know, we're drilling a 4mm hole in the center of the strap here. As far as I'm concerned, it's not gonna risk, you're not gonna risk, if your strap was gonna break, like that early batch that was faulty, then perhaps it will do it. But if it's a decent one, and it's not, you know, it's not gonna break, it's gonna be fine. Like I say, I've given it a lot of forces and twisting around, and there's no issues at all, you know. I mean, how tight do you do these straps up at the end of the day, you know? So you could worry about it if you want to, but I'm not the sort of person that worries about this crap, you know. I just get on and do things because I want to get it done. So yes, if you want your warranty, navigate away, it's the wrong video for you. So what you need to do, it's kind of a how-to, but I'm not going to be doing it step by step as in showing you, because obviously I've already done it, and then things can't be put back. So what you start off with is your headphones, obviously, and they're normally here. So the first thing you do is you just take a knife and you just cut very carefully the stitching around this headband, and then this will just peel off. Literally just cut the stitching, it just peels off, and that's that done. It's out the way. What you're left with then is this, but as one piece. I've obviously cut it in half. This is what's underneath the padded bit that you've just removed. And running through this is this piece of wire here. That's what gives the band its sort of springiness, that keeps it clamped onto your head. That's just fed through these sort of raised sections you see there. It's fed through like that and goes round. And the same on, obviously, when it says one piece. So yeah, and then, so okay, what's the easiest way to do this? This terminates, how can I show you? This way around. This terminates attached to the top there. You can see I've cut it off just where my finger is there, and just above where the little bolt goes through. So this was previously attached there. So once you've got your cushioning off, you're left with your headphones attached to this and your piece of wire across the top. So all you do is get a pair of side cutters, which I haven't got to hand because they're in my toolbox. Google side cutters if you don't know what side cutters are. And you very carefully just cut this in half like that. And where the metal piece runs through, you can see where I've snipped, hopefully you can see where I've snipped that one there, that allows that metal piece to come out, and you can feed that out. And once you've cut it in half and you've pulled that out, you've just got your two headphones flapping around. Now, there is the wire that runs from each headphone, runs up and through this as well. So just be careful that you don't cut that wire, because that needs to remain connected so that each of your headphones is joined to one another. Because on these, you can plug your audio into the bottom of either that one, or in this case, the bottom of this one. And then there's the wire. In fact, I'll show you the wire. For me, it runs just up around the front here. I've kind of fed it through the top strap, and it goes down to the other headphone there, and it sits there just fine. I haven't had to cable tie it sort of around here or anything. It literally just sits there in between the Velcro, like just perfect, like it was made to measure in actual fact. So once you've removed this, and then you've removed these and your wire piece, you will just be left with what you can see in here. So there's the piece of plastic there with the headphone attached and the wire joining the two together. Now, what you need to do at this point is just put them to one side, get your Quest 2 and put it on your head and do it up just how you would normally wear it. And then you need to get a helper with a Sharpie or a marker pen or a pencil or something just to make a little dot with. And with you wearing it, you get your helper to put a dot directly in line with the middle of your ear on the Elite strap. As it runs around your head here, a dot directly above the middle of your ear, because that is where you want to drill your hole, your 4mm hole, to put your little 4mm bolt through that's going to hold this all together. So once that dot has been marked on each side, get a tape measure and just measure from the front here to the dot, and make sure both sides measure the same, just in case, well, maybe your ears are wonky, or maybe your friend that marked it isn't the best, hasn't got the steadiest hand. But anyway, just measure each one, make sure they're the same. If they're different from one another, then either get your friend just to, put it back on and get your friend just to measure it and say which one is nearest, because one of them's obviously a little bit out, or take the two measurements and split the difference. So let's say there's a 6mm difference between one and the other. One's 6mm further down the strap. Just come 3mm in on that one, and on the other side go 3mm further along. Because when this is on, you've actually got adjustment forwards and backwards. It doesn't look like a lot, but that's actually plenty when it's on your ears. And you've also still got the height adjustment by sliding the headphone up and down inside its attachment here. It's one of the reasons I chose these headphones. So you do have some adjustment, but you still want to try and get it as close to perfect, in the first place as possible. So once you've got your dots marked and you've measured and you've made any adjustments to those dots if they're not quite right, what you then need to do is get your 4mm drill bit in your drill and literally just drill straight through the side of the Elite strap on both sides. You're now ready to almost fit the headphones. So the last thing you do with the drill is, let me get it in focus if I can, is where the headphones have still got this piece of plastic on here, the hinged bit, you need to just get your drill and also drill a 4mm hole in the middle of those. Now, it is pretty much dead center, but you can get the headphone and you can offer it up in place, and you'll see you've got that hole already drilled in the side of the Elite strap. You can offer it up in place, and there's actually already some little slots in these plastic bits that are left on your headphones, so you can see through. So you can make sure they're exactly where you want them, and then you can just open up the little slot with your 4mm drill bit on each of these, and that's it. You're literally then ready to put your nut, your bolt, and your nylon washers through. And I'll show you exactly what I used now. So you've got your holes drilled. I bought some of these. They're just little nylon washers. Again, they're for M4 bolts. That's what we're using, M4 bolts, in fact, which look like these. And I chose ones with, in fact, there's a mixture in there, but if you can see this one here, it's got a flange around the head, just to make it that little bit wider. That's for spreading the load, the clamping force, as you nip it up, because it's quite a small hole we're using here. So yeah, these are M4 by 12, I believe. I will just check, and I will put the details in the description. They're M4x12 and they're flanged. And then I also got M4 nylock nuts, also with a flange for the same reason, spreading the load. The reason we use nylock is because you don't want them to work their way loose. And if we did these up so tight with normal nuts that they wouldn't come undone, we'd chew through the plastic and it would be a mess and it just wouldn't work. So you need nylock nuts. That's super, super important. So what I also then did to spread the load further was get these nylon washers that I showed you a second ago. And so I get a nylon washer and I slide it over the bolt. That then comes through from the inside, pointing outwards. So it sticks out this side. That's why you can see the nut on there. So bolt, nylon washer, then your headphone itself, the plastic, white plastic piece that's still there with the hole in that you've drilled. Then I put another nylon washer on the other side of that, so in between the headphone and the inside of the Elite strap. And then you poke that through, obviously, and it sticks out this side. I then put another nylon washer and then my nylock nut on this side and tightened it up enough so they don't flap around, but that you can still move them for your adjustment if you need to. You'll if you've done this sort of thing, you'll get a feel for how tight it needs to be. And again, if you do it too tight, because we're using these nylon washers, you'll just chew a nylon washer rather than chewing your headphones or your Elite strap. So that's why I use them. Help spread the load and protect the surfaces a little bit. Now, that's the headphones fitted, and then you literally just run the wire, as you can see, just around the front there. Perfect, nice and easy. I did experiment with around the back, but of course every time you adjust the strap, it pulls the wire tighter or looser, which is crap. If you run it around the front, it just stays where it needs to stay, which is pucker. So that's the headphones fitted. Now the next thing you need to do is sort out some sort of lead, because this is the one that comes with it, obviously way long, because they're designed to be proper headphones, not used for Quest 2 modification. Now, I really liked, these are a very slim line plug. They're not very wide for a 3.5mm jack. And I like the 90-degree feature about it, because when you've got it fitted to your headphones, it comes out and then can immediately curl round and up, keeping things neat and tidy again. And then the same at the front there, comes out, you can just run it up, down behind the strap, and I've used one cable tie there that you can just about make out. It's a clear one, or clear or white, and that just holds, can I get it in sight? I know where it will come in focus because it wants to focus on here, but it basically holds the wire that runs to the headphone socket in place, and I actually tucked the wire that runs around here just behind it as well, because it was there and I thought, well, why not? Now, the wire I'm using to go from the headphone to the headphone socket on the Quest, I actually had to make myself, because I couldn't find one in white short enough. I wanted a 90-degree end on each end. It needed to be slimline to fit in the headphone socket on the headphones, but it only needs to be maybe 20 centimeters long, maybe 25, not very long. The shortest I could find was a 1/2 meter, or it might have even been a meter. No, it was a 1/2 meter. So I actually had to cut mine in half, cut a portion out, and then resolder it. And I've actually used some white heat shrink. You can just see it there where it goes a little fatter. That's where I've had to heat shrink it. Obviously, you don't really notice it, and it looks, mostly neat and tidy. So I'm happy with that. Now, you don't have to use white headphones. You don't have to use white cables. These Marshalls are available in black as well, if you prefer black. And there's plenty of short black 3.5mm to 3.5mm cables. There just wasn't any white ones. So that's what I had to do. But I'm really pleased with both the way it looks and, more importantly, with how it sounds, because the sound you get from these is over and above anything on any other VR headset, because they are designed to be proper headphones. Even the G2, which has the same audio as the Index, yeah, it's good audio for a VR headset. It's still not good audio compared to normal on-ear headphones, good ones, or over-ear headphones. And obviously that's what we're using here. So for me, this is a pucker solution. A little bit of DIY, yes, and you do void your warranty on both the Elite strap and on the headphones. But, you know, I don't care about that. And I guess if you're watching this video, you probably don't care either, or you'd have navigated away by now. But that's everything I had to do. I hope it was clear enough to understand. You know, it's not, because I'd already done it all and I didn't know it was going to work, you see. So I didn't want to sort of start recording a how-to video when I'm still making it up as I go along. And still figuring out little problems along the way, because it would just be a horrible messy video and it may not even have worked. So hopefully you can see what we had to do. It's really, you know, it is pretty simple once you get stuck in. Cut the stitching, remove your padding, you know, then you're left with your plastic bit underneath with just the metal ring attached to it as well. Snip it up with your side cutters, get them all off. You know, then you're just left with your two headphones on those little stubby remainders of this. You know, put it on your head, get your friend to mark it up, drill your holes in the strap, then offer your headphones up, open those slots up in those, put your bolts and washers through, you know, run the cable around the front, plug it in. I mean, you know, if you can't find a suitable small cable, you can use this still. It's just you're going to have to hide it somewhere, tuck it around your neck or whatever. But that's, you know, that's it, and you're away. Now, the only thing I will say, depending how fat or slim your head is, you may find that these push a little hard on your ears. And there's two solutions here. Because the headphone is technically on this metal bracket, you can just bend them out a little bit. Don't do that don't use the strap, the Elite strap, to sort of brace it when you do it. Take them off of the Elite strap, put them in the vise, grab a pair of pliers, whatever you want to do. Just bend them out a touch if you need to. Or if you really can't bend them far enough, you can always fit them. So whilst at the moment we've got the headphone actually on the inside of the strap, there's no reason why you can't put this piece on the outside of the strap here. Now, it won't look as tidy, obviously, and that's why I fit them to the inside. But should you need extra width, you can always just undo your bolt, pop it down, pop it up, put the bolt back through, and then it's on the outside. And that will give you a little bit more width. Personally, I would just bend the metal brackets because I prefer it looking way neater than I do having this bits that you see on the inside on the outside. Oh, and if anyone sort of is worried about, do you feel this against the side of your head? The answer is no, not at all, at least not with my head shape. Because if I put this on without those speakers on, do it up, you can actually put your hands up the sides here, and there's quite a reasonable gap either side of your head in between the strap and your head. And this is what gave me this idea. I'm like, there's plenty of room there. I'm sure I can fit something in. So that's what I've done. Hopefully you guys like it, or some of you anyway. The world's full of different tastes and different flavours, so some people are going to hate it, I'm sure. But there'll be those of you that do like it, and hopefully that's been helpful, instructional, and maybe even a little inspirational, because even if you don't do this, maybe it will inspire you to come up with your own ideas, and feel free to share those, you know, in the comments if you've got other ideas. But yeah, to me, they look good, they sound good, they fit well, and compared to the original audio solution, they are pucker. So I'll write down all these little bits and bobs that I've used in the description. There'll be a link to the headphones. So happy DIYing. And yeah, so as always, thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.